Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Chickenz here, back again with a Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity video. This week on the channel, as most of you may know, we'll be taking a look at the movesets of each of the future champions, and in order to help figure out the order in which we cover them in, let's take a look at the poll on my channel. I put this poll up last Wednesday and over 600 people voted, so I'd like to thank each and every one of you who voted. But with an overwhelming 55% of the vote, you guys decided that we should take a look at the Zora Prince from the future, Sidon, first. So as most of you already know, Sidon fights with his two ceremonial tridents, and he also has the ability to control water like Mipha. However, the key difference between the two is that Mipha is way more agile and graceful, while Sidon is mostly more powerful but a little bit slower. Opening up his attack menu though, here we can see all of Sidon's possible attack combos and abilities, and per usual we'll go over each one of these and I'll be showing you what they all do. Really quickly before we get started though, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more guides like this, and also make sure to like the video if you watch it and find it helpful. But other than that, let's start this video off by taking a look at his basic abilities first. Our first basic ability is Sidon's dash attack, which is done by pressing X while you're sprinting. Sidon's dash attack is really similar to Mipha's as he quickly dives underwater whenever he uses it. However, I do think he is a little worse as it feels a lot slower and more clunky than Mipha's. Sidon also has another dash attack that's kind of unique that is done by pressing Y while sprinting. This will make Sidon send out a shark that he's riding on in front of him, damaging all enemies within his radius. Now I'll go over a strong attack which is used by pressing X. I usually don't show this since most of the time it's pretty boring, but Sidon is actually pretty useful. Whenever you use it, he'll damage all enemies in a pretty wide area in front of him, and if you enhance it with a ZR press, it'll create 4 bottom columns from the ground that do a little extra damage. Sidon's unique action is pretty cool as it is used to power up and slightly change his strong attacks. Whenever you send out a strong attack with X, there will be a small circle that appears behind Sidon for a short window, and if you press ZR while that circle is there, it will buff his strong attack. This unique action can also give Sidon knockback resistance after the strong attack if he hits ZR within the correct window after the strong attack is over. Like with the strong attack, that same circle will appear after it's over so you know when to press ZR, and you'll know when you hit it as Sidon will turn around and smile, and he'll also turn blue whenever he has that knockback resistance. Up next, I'll show you guys some weak point smash animations. His weak point smash is pretty standard as it has no additional effects besides the damage it does. And wrapping this section off, Sidon's special attack will have him jump up and send a giant water shark into the ground, which will create a huge wave upon impact. This wave will cover a wide area and damage all enemies inside. Now it's time to go over the Sheikah Runes, and as always we'll start with Cryonis. So for this one, Sidon will spawn a Cryonis block directly in front of him, then you'll have the opportunity to follow that up with X, which will send the Cryonis block flying forward. For his bomb room, bombs will be thrown on Sidon that he has to swing at with Y. You do have to get the correct timing, but the timing here is pretty lenient, and once you get the hang of it, you'll probably be able to hit all the bombs each time. Sidon will hit 4 bombs in this attack. The first one will always go left, the second one down the middle, the third one to the right, and the last one will be hit into the air, and will come back down as a bigger bomb. For Magnesis, Sidon will absorb nearby metal weapons into a ball in front of him that will also draw in any nearby enemies and do damage. Then after the attack is done, Sidon will use the Magnesis ball to send himself mid-air. And lastly, Sidon's stasis will have him throw a spear at an enemy and then freeze it with the stasis rune. And then after that, he'll swing at the enemy with his other spear that will unfreeze them. You can always cancel out of this with V to get extra hits in. Now it's time to move on to his attack combos, and like I mentioned earlier, his unique action enhances each of his strong attacks at the end of the combos. So I'll first show you what each combo looks like without the unique action enhancement, and then I'll show you what it looks like after it. So Sidon's first combo is going to be a 7 Wise combo. It's pretty basic as he just has a variety of attacks with his 2 tridents. For his YX combo, Sidon will first do a regular attack and then create a huge water vortex in front of him with his tridents. After that, he'll do an upswing with his tridents. I'll also send him mid-air. And if you enhance this with his unique action, the upswing will do more damage, and Sidon will also send out a shark in front of him that will damage enemies. His third combo is his YYX combo, in which Sidon will do 2 regular attacks followed by a flurry of stabs with his tridents. And after this flurry is over, he'll follow it up with a strong swing that covers around a half circle around Sidon. And if you enhance this with a ZR press, Sidon will charge up before your swing, which will make it a little bit more powerful. Combo 4 is done by pressing Y 3 times followed by an X. This combo, Sidon will do 3 regular attacks followed by a strong attack where he dashes forward and does a similar type of swing from the end of combo 3. And if you enhance his attack, Sidon will send out 4 sharks in front of him before he releases a swing that will help increase the attack's range as well as his power. Our 5th combo is the 4 Ys and X combo. This combo, Sidon will do 4 regular attacks followed by a flurry of swings with his tridents. After this flurry, Sidon will send out a big moving water frisbee that will move forward and damage enemies. And if you enhance his last attack, Sidon will send out 3 frisbees instead of 1, and at the end all 3 frisbees will collide and create a huge water column in front of him. And our last combo is the 5 Ys and X. For this combo, Sidon will do 5 regular attacks followed by a series of 4 dash attacks in a zigzag pattern, and then at the end he'll slam his trident into the ground. You can press ZR for each of these 4 dash attacks to make them more powerful, and you can also enhance his trident slam, which will make him create some water columns around him that do damage. And finally, like most combo 6s, this combo always stuns the boss and exposes a weak point gauge. Alright, now it's time for some quick tips, and I'll start by going over my weapon fills for Sidon. So Sidon's 2 hidden seals are regular attack damage and damage to locked on target buffs, which are kind of meh, but the groups are kind of good for getting matches. So to get the plus 20 damage increase on his trident, I'm planning on using 3 attack speeds and 1 strong attack damage increase. The 3 attack speeds like usual are to get combos off faster and speed up his play, and the 1 strong attack damage is there mostly to get a match but also to power up his strong attacks. Since his unique action ability enhances those strong attacks, and a lot of his strong attacks incorporate multiple animations and swings, I think the strong attack damage increase will get a lot of use. Now onto the combat tips, and one tip I have is just to spam ZR whenever you use a strong attack so you always get the enhancement. Spamming ZR doesn't affect him negatively in any way, so it makes it easier just to always get the right timing since some of them can be kind of tricky. Also, make sure to keep spamming even after the attack is going on just so you get the knockback resistance afterwards as well. One thing you do have to make sure not to do is press ZR too early, as if you do before you press X, it will cancel the entire combo and you have to start over. This next thing I found, it really isn't a tip, but more of just something interesting I found that could be useful. So if you use Sidon's first dash attack where he dives into the ground, first an animation will play where he jumps into the air with his shark before diving into the ground. And if you press ZR during the middle of this jump animation, you can cancel out the rest of it and instead start a mid-air combo. So you can just do this whenever you need to get mid-air, however the only thing is you can't paraglide, you can only use a mid-air combo when you do this. As far as combos go, I find that combos 2 and 3 are the best for using against bosses, and combos 4 and 5 are good for taking out large groups of enemies. And combo 6 is by far his best combo, it's pretty much good for either one. Overall though, I think Sidon is a really good character and an absolute blast to play. All of his combos are really useful and each do their own thing really well, which gives him a wide array of attacks to use for different situations. His unique action is also very good as it makes his combos even more powerful, and timing the ZR presses with each strong attack makes him a very engaging character to play as. So yeah, I totally recommend you learn his moveset. He's probably my favorite future champion to play as, and he's pretty easy to learn, so it's pretty much worth it. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap up the video for today. Those are all of the abilities and attack combos for Sidon. Next on the channel, it looks like we'll be covering Teba, as he has a pretty sizable lead over Riju for 2nd place. However, this could always change, so please make sure to keep on voting if you want to see Riju first. But if you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please make sure to leave a like. Also make sure to subscribe to my channel for more Age of Calamity and Zelda related content. But other than that, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.